Hello, and thank you for joining us in our second year of the NeoCon Talks series. So these talks are 20-minute conversations on a range of topics from a variety of speakers from all over the globe. We just heard from Tanya from India. We want to welcome you to day one. Thank you to our sponsors Formica, 9 to 5 Seating, Dauphine, Garden on the Wall, and Via Seating. We do have a Beatrix station with coffee and pastries right behind us, so if you guys need a refuel, you can do that. And in between the talks, Jordan from the Mart is going to be doing some trivia on some workplace questions, and you can win a little card to go get a free coffee or pastry, so definitely stay around to participate in that. And next up on our talk series is Focused Excellence, Monotasking for Architects and Designers with Libby Gillen. Welcome, Libby.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I'm Libby Gillen. I'm VP of A&D for Momentum Textiles and Wall Covering. And I'm here to talk about focused excellence. I'm here to talk about why we need to be monotasking more and multitasking less. I know we all multitask. I didn't practice this part. Okay. I know we all multitask. And who believes they're good at multitasking? Raise your hand. Guess what? Only 2.5% of people can actually multitask and multitask well. So that's not me, I know that. But from the standpoint that our brains are not set up to multitask. You know where multitasking came from? It came from IBM. IBM, because of their computers, actually said, oh, this is multitasking. When one thing's running in the front, all this other stuff can be running in the back. Guess what? Our brains don't work like that. We have a frontal cortex, left and right. They need to work together to actually get our best input out. If they try to separate, that's where we can do it, but we're gonna have more mistakes. It's gonna take longer to do. I've got an exercise for everyone. This is a multitasking exercise. I don't even know if I'm gonna do it that well today, but everybody knows their ABCs, right? So in your head, you know it, A, B, C, D, a little song to go with it. Now, from 30, count backwards. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Like, you can get a rhythm there too. Now, multitask it. A, 30, B, 29, C, 28. That's multitasking. That hurts. Like, I'm really, really concentrating. So our brains aren't set up for that. Now, I'm not saying we're not going to multitask, because we're going to multitask, but why we're talking about monotasking today is because we're so busy. We get so distracted with emails, the ping of my phone, the kids, what's on TV, whatever. Sometimes we just need to stop, take a breath, and monotask. Here are some of the benefits. It's better for your well-being. You're going to slow down. You're going to retain information better if you're monotasking, doing one thing at a time. You're going to get into that zone like the runner's high. If you're concentrating on one thing, you're going to have better quality of work, and you're going to be more productive and more efficient with that time. So here's the true definition. Monotasking, also known as single tasking, is the practice of dedicating oneself to a given task with minimizing interruptions until that task is done or a significant period of time. Right now we're saying 20 minutes. This is how I learned about monotasking. My life was crazy. My friend Chris Stolpen, if you know him, actually gave me a book about monotasking. Thatcher Wine is an author. He owns a bookstore in Colorado. His life was crazy. Unfortunately, he was diagnosed with cancer. Things weren't going well, but when he got better, he goes, I want to live my life better. I want to live my life differently. So I'm going to look at 12 things that I can focus on one at a time. And his slogan is like, do one thing at a time to do everything better. So that's what his version of monotasking is. These are the 12. Teach, learn, play, see, eat, create, think, walk, read, listen, sleep. I wish I could sleep. Monotask sleep. And then getting there. We're not going to go through all these. This is 20 minutes, so we're going to go through a couple of them. But guess what? Listen, you guys all get credit today, unless you're on your phone, because then you're not monotasking. But if you're listening to me right now for the next 20 minutes, you get credit. You've done your job today. You've done your exercise. So listening is one. We're going to talk. We've done. Check that one off. Another one we're going to do is see. As architects, designers, everyone related to that field, seeing is important to our job, right? So we're going to talk about that. But the last one is to read. So as I go through these, you're going to see that to see, we are bombarded with over 4,000 advertisements a day. 4,000, that's on average. So whether that's through your phone, whether that's through social media, whether that's billboards, radio, TV, whatever. You get things you don't even want. Going through my Instagram, something pops up for a new dog bed. I'm like, I have a dog, but I don't need another dog bed. But I find myself down the rabbit hole of now getting a dog bed because the advertisement came up, right? So with all those advertisements, all that media being thrown into, it's too much clutter. It's too distracting to actually concentrate on what you need to do. So we want you to be able to take back your control by monotasking to see. So this is Lizzie LaRock, introducing you to all my friends. We've got Thatcher, we got Lizzie. Lizzie is a psychologist coach, she's an author, and she does something called photo walks. So what she does, and believe it or not, you use your phone to do this photo walk. It's kind of counterintuitive, right? I said, do one thing, focus. You're going to have you focus through a phone. But with that being said, you're going to set a prompt, set a timer, 20 minutes, and try to focus if you get distracted and go for a walk. This could be like at the airport. I've done this at the airport. My flight's delayed. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a walk, get away from this crowded gate, and I'm going to be like, my photo walk is going to include kids in pajamas, which is a pet peeve of mine. So you know what? I had young kids. Get them dressed before you go on the airplane. But anyway, whatever it might be, you focus on that and you see what you can find. It could be shapes. It could be a detail that you're now seeing over and over in the airport, which might then contribute to your next design, your next big idea. So that's what a photo walk is. And one day, in Austin, Texas, where I reside now, I go on this trail. I'm lucky enough to live near the Greenbelt, through the woods, trails, hikes, fields. And so I do that, not often, but a bit with my dog, my husband, my kids. And one day I decided to I said 20 minutes, and do a photo walk. It turned into a lot longer because I kept stopping and be like, oh my God, look at this. But by stopping and looking, I set my prompt to be things that weren't green, like things within the green. But by stopping and looking, I would have missed things like this. Like actually taking a moment, that's my dog winning, taking a moment to really see. So as I was looking at things of color, my dog was also looking at things of color. And I really got into the detail. I saw just not yellow flowers, but all the different variety of yellow flowers within that field. And then I saw different sizes of pistons. And then I saw bugs underneath that petal. And then so as I continue to walk, and you look everywhere when you're doing this walk. You're looking at it from this angle, and then maybe you go bug's eye version. You look up because there's a lot in the trees that I was missing. A lot of color within the green. Then I came up with this, a great little collage. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's inspirational now. Maybe I will do a color scheme with that. Maybe I will reference some of these organic shapes in whatever I might be designing next. But it gives you a reference. Again, you're focusing on things in a different way. So that's what seeing is. Here's another exercise. Sarah Kushar is a designer here in Chicago, and when she travels, she brings a little watercolor set. And rather than running around the city with her phone, snap, 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 What she'll do is she will stop and paint 20 minutes. So they're quick gestures. It's not like she sits down and does a detail. I mean, these are pretty nice. But she sees shadows differently. She sees windows. She sees like fenestration that you may not have seen before. She's able to really capture it and see things differently. So I don't know if you guys aren't feeling that artistic or not, use your phone, do the photo walk. But if you are, do this. Now, I got an assignment for you. It's for tomorrow, not today, because you're doing your 20 minutes now, so you're good. In this hectic day of NeoCon, or week of NeoCon, 3 days, 2.5 days, whatever, when you get outside the mart, that's your prompt, outside the mart, do a photo walk. On your walk back to your hotel, on your way to happy hour. Maybe you do it while you're in the happy hour waiting for your friends to show up. Think about, you give yourself your own prompt. I'm just saying it's got to be outside the mart. And we're going to actually give you, we've got sketchbooks. So if you're a sketcher, you can do it this way. For those who want to sketch, we have a few of these to go do your photo walk. So you can think about being outside and seeing boats, transportation, sketch those really quick, 20 minutes, set the timer. Or I'm going back to windows again, I got a theme. When you look at these buildings, there's so many buildings, you're seeing the overall building, maybe just look at the different windows or the different doors within these buildings. You could do this at Fulton Market, you could do this in Grant Park, you could do this on Michigan Avenue. Try to take some time and sketch. I got another one for you to read. And if you think about reading, it's essential that we all know how to read, right? But again, with all those distractions of social media, our phones, whatnot, I read a lot less. I'll listen to books. Reading is not my forte, but I'm going to try to do better, especially this summer. I've got a goal. So take 20 minutes a day to read. You could read anything. Try not to make it digital. It could be a magazine. It could be Us Weekly. It doesn't have to be, full of content, but something that you're going to enjoy. Don't make it a self-help book that's going to make you a little crazy. And read. Cheryl Durst. If you know Cheryl Durst, who is an avid reader, she's the CEO and president of IIDA, she reads. She loves to read. And this is a quote from her. Reading not only informs, it inspires. A book is a gateway, a passport, an all-access express pass to knowledge, adventure, insight, freedom, love, laughter, and joy. Reading is a pleasure and a privilege and a necessity to life. So, again, if you could take that 20 minutes, even if your brain wanders or even if you fall asleep after page 2, try to come back and continue reading. And the more you practice, the better you do. Do it on the subway. Do it at night. Do it first thing in the morning if you've got time. So basically, what I'm talking about is try to tackle some of these activities. We've got the book. This is for show and tell. I don't have these books. But this is the book by Thatcher Wine, not Wines, because plural, there is truly a Thatcher Wines. But he wrote this book. It's available on Amazon. It's a pretty good book. Guess what? I read the chapters I want to. The getting there is not gonna be my forte. But with multitasking versus monotasking, we're still gonna multitask. I'm not saying take that all away, but when you really need to concentrate, you've got 3 emails that you have to do. Put your phone away, put your earphones on so nobody bothers you, and try to focus on that task at hand so you can get through that. You'll get those emails out without, mistakes faster. You'll be more productive. Just try it. So let me just look at my notes, make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Yeah, if you do some monotasking, we hope this will make you more productive. That's the goal, right? Yeah. So I'm going to thank you for your attention. You get your 20-minute credit. You get a sketchbook if you want one. And We also have an hour-long CEU where we do go through more of these exercises. We don't go through the exercises, we go through more monotasking. So if you're interested in that, contact your local Momentum rep. It's a CEU credit, 1 credit. Health, safety, and wellness is actually pretty good. It's pretty fun, pretty engaging. And I appreciate your time. Any questions or comments? We're good. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Libby. So if you guys would like to ask Libby any more questions on monotasking, feel free. If you are interested in the CEU, you can get some more information. And if you are ready for the challenge of doing your activity, then you can come to Libby and get your sketch pad in the back. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yes. Also, we're going to have the recording of this conversation with Libby online, so you guys can check that out. If you're not already subscribed, you can go to workdesign.com and get a free subscription. It'll let you know when the NeoCon Talks conversations come out, so you can continue the conversation with Libby. And we have one last session of the day that is going to be at 3 p.m., and it's on intentional-based working for the future of work with Stephen Smith. So we're continuing this idea of how are you doing more focused work. So